Hey, what is going on, guys? It's the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And so today, this is going to be, I guess, a video response, even though that feature has been dead for like 7 years here on YouTube. Nonetheless, this is going to be kind of a response to the video that was made a couple of days ago from Yugioh Everything, addressing the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX English dub Season 4 never happening. Now, I have covered this topic multiple times on my channel, and have talked about different possible scenarios and different ways that this dub could happen, or if it could happen, if it could ever come back. You know, even with Duel Links, you know, doing what they were doing, where they started, they started making dubs, clips of the actual Season 4 that never was dubbed. But there were a lot of story arcs that were cut because it was never dubbed in English. And that was one of the biggest problems with Duel Links, is it's very limited to things that have never been dubbed or never been covered, which is very unfortunate because, again, Season 4 should have been dubbed. It was one of the most highest rating shows on Magoozies at the time. It went to Toonami, which Toonami was kind of on its way out by that point for Season 3. But the biggest thing is what Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything covered about this is he's not wrong. Yu-Gi-Oh! The chances of the GX dub being dubbed are probably not good. That doesn't mean that we can't stop, hoping and praying one day that it can happen. I've been forced upon it for a long time. One of the biggest things that really annoys me, though, of Konami Cross, which I guess it's their entitlement to do it, but is that they stopped Team Millennium from doing a fan dub of it. I know that technically fan dubs are gray areas and technically not really legal, but I know many people that have done multiple fan dubs for other fandoms that have never gotten cease and desist letter from the license holder. Only Yu-Gi-Oh! GX to this day, to my knowledge, because I don't count Team 4-Star because that's a parody series. Well, they didn't even really get a. Did they really get a cease and desist letter? They got more of a, just getting their videos taken down. That's really all they got from Toei. But they're the only people, Team Millennium are the only people that I know that got a cease and desist letter for trying to make a fan dub of a season that was never dubbed. I know people that have made Sailor Moon fan dubs of the Deke dub. There's many fan dubs on YouTube. You just look up fan dubs. There's casting calls on Casting Call Club for fan dubs. There's many of them. You get them all the time. When I try, go for auditions and stuff like that, I have to hesitate on those stuff because you can't, with fan dubs, it's a gray area in itself, and it's not something that you really should do to begin with. But, definitely don't put that on your resume, though. If you do participate in a fan dub, definitely don't do that. There's many fan dubs out there. And I've seen, and the craziest thing is when it comes to, open auditions and stuff like this on some of these auditioning websites for voice acting, I've seen fan dubs of dubs that are dubbed, okay, of ones that are actually dubbed, not ones that haven't been dubbed, like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and I've never seen someone get their dub pulled, okay, and that's just the thing that just irates me about Konami, that they just are so salty that someone was going to make a fan dub of something that they chose to ignore of making an official dub. People that are fans aren't trying to make a fan dub to make profit off it. They're trying to do something to give the audience, closure to like something that was never dubbed, that should have been dubbed. That's what they're doing. They're fans of the series. Okay? So that's just one of the things that baffles me, that so many people are like, oh my god, we're gonna pull this because we just don't want them doing this. It's just stupid. It's really stupid. I know that's just a little me being sour grapes about it, but I think it's stupid. That fans are willing to do a non-profit fan dub to because they're fans of the series that you chose not to dub despite its high ratings, just so you can go to freaking 5Ds, which ended up getting canceled because it was not making much ratings, by the way. How ironic. It's just insane to me. It's just insane. But one of the things that Dylan covered, Yugioh Everything, had covered that really caught me off guard was the stuff he said about Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s more than really the stuff he said about GX. Now, he made a claim that Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s is kind of separating itself from the real-life card game, but yet he's also said that they're probably going to make new cards of what they're doing. But then also went on to say stuff about, well, everything needs to be approved by Konami Japan. Now, that to me is very, very gray area-ish, because to my understanding is that Yu-Gi-Oh! The license in general was through Konami and whatnot. I guess maybe it would go through Konami Japan, but at the same time, I thought that was just all approved through the company that's doing the dub, because they have the world license, so they basically are allowed to. That's why you still see all the damn censorship. I mean, even in Vrains, there's not as much censorship, but they still have Sky. They still had Sky wear pants, even though she doesn't wear those, or tights, right? Do we have that? I don't have it uploaded right now, but they they had her wear. Wait, hey, can we pull it up? Or you can't pull it up. The pants, the tights, or whatever, Sky, from the original. I don't know if I have the picture right now. I had it a while ago. Let's see. No, I don't have it, but you guys go to Censorship Gaming. He'll have it. He had it up. I seen that. By the way, not to do a cheap plug, but yeah, Censorship Gaming. Go to Censorship Gaming. He has it. All the censorships that Vrains did, or whatever. It's not that much, but still, it's still some censorship stuff with Sky. But anyways, getting back to the topic at hand here. He was saying that Konami Japan has to approve everything, and I don't see, because I've talked to people about this, and I've not heard that at all. So I don't know where he got that info from, but I know he talks to people. I know he has talked to people closer to the studio, so there's probably a chance that this could be accurate. I don't know, but that's not what I've heard. I heard that it just all goes through the people that are doing it in New York. That are dubbing it in New York, because again, they have the world license, so they basically make the decisions. And it's the same thing as what 4Kids was doing. They can just change whatever. They can change the names. They can, change the theme songs, or have replacement scores, which is not really a big thing in anime these days, but it's still something that Yu-Gi-Oh! Does. Which I don't have an issue with, because obviously some of my favorite anime scores are from the English scores. Obviously you all know my favorite anime score of all time is the Falconer score. So I don't have an issue with replacement scores as long as it's good. I've gone on record many times that I prefer the Falconer score over the Japanese score, because I've listened to the Japanese score for Dragon Ball Z, and it is terrible. Yeah, I know some fans are probably gonna get on me like, "Oh no, you can't say that." I'm like, "No, sorry, buddy. That's my opinion, and I've listened to both of them. Sorry, no. Sorry, not sorry, as Alexis Rose would say." Anyways, so the dub. Will it be dubbed? I hope. I hope it's not in 2088 when I'm probably dead by that point. But I mean, according to Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, we have a better chance of winning the lottery. So if one of you actually wins the lottery and you're into Yu-Gi-Oh!, you could probably donate it to Konami and have and put in a incentive that they have to dub season 4. That's your big obstacle of doing it right. But the one thing he also did say was profitability. Okay, in all seriousness, he said profitability. That, what's the sense of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 4, being dubbed if it's not profitable? I highly disagree with him on this. Okay, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is highly profitable, and he even talked about in the video. He said that there are some fans that only watch the English dub. And guess what, Dylan? I'm one of those guys that will only watch the English dub, which is true. I will never watch the subtitle version because I can't read that fast. And I don't understand that language. I've tried subtitles. I'm not going to do it. Okay? So yes, he is right on this. There are people that have reasons, like myself, that can't read that quick and won't understand the animation that's going quick while you're trying to understand what they're saying. So no, I won't do that. Everyone's like, "Oh, you just gotta watch something." Like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand that some people can't watch that. Some people cannot do it. Okay? Alright? We're not like you. Okay? You wanna go watch the subs? Go watch the subs. But don't tell people that they have to watch it. Okay? We can't watch it. People cannot watch. There are people that, like myself, that can't watch subtitles. Okay? It just doesn't work that way. I've kind of gotten some, insides from some of the games and some of, obviously, Duel Links, dubbed some scenes from Season 4, but obviously that's not the full entirety of it, and it's definitely not good enough, for me. But that's probably the best we're ever going to get, unfortunately. But I disagree with the whole profitability thing. Because, again, Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was probably one of the highest rated shows outside of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! So, in terms of profitability, yeah, I think the profitability is there. I don't even think, correct me if I'm wrong in this, but have they released, the original series on Blu-ray yet? They still haven't done that, I think, either. They put this original stuff on Blu-ray. Obviously the newer series get on Blu-ray, but that's because it's a standard thing. But obviously some of this older stuff has been out of print for a long time now, and they haven't even released on Blu-ray. I mean, Naruto for years had no Blu-rays. Apparently they're finally going to do a Blu-ray release of the Naruto series. I mean, that's how crazy this is. These shows are popular shows, and yet they're not getting Blu-ray releases. Forget about the whole thing with Dragon Ball Z. At least it got Blu-ray releases, even though they're shit. With the crop and crap. We're getting the steel book one, but it's not true 4x3. At least these guys are getting better quality dubbed quality for the DVD or for the Blu-ray releases. But it took years and years. And it's insane that Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't have that treatment yet. They're getting the Blu-ray release yet, as well as GX. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX definitely deserves it, and GX deserves a Season 4. I think it definitely is profitable. Obviously they're trying to promote the cards, but obviously they're going in a different direction because the studio that normally dubs all the Yu-Gi-Oh series are not involved anymore for the Japanese interpretation. The Japanese animators, that did dubbed, all the way up to Brains, they're not doing it anymore. So, that's probably going to make it least likely. He did say the only scenario, one thing he did say that I'm kind of half-half on this one, but one of the things he did say was that if they ever went to like Yu-Gi-Oh! 8 and if it was a sequel to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, that maybe possibly they would dub it, dub Season 4. No. I don't think. I mean, maybe. Let me rephrase that. That could be possible. Could be possible. But I actually think the more likely scenario of them dubbing Season 4 is actually creating a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX movie. It can be Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Dark Side of Dimensions, or they can come up with a different name, just called Yu-Gi-Oh! GX the movie. And no, I'm not talking about the canceled project movie that was supposed to be, done or whatever, years ago. But I'm talking about like an actual GX movie. Then maybe, possibly. But then again, they did the 10-year anniversary one, and they dubbed that, and that was Season 4 Jade and Yugi, and they never dubbed Season 4 for that. So, I don't know. But I will say, like, again, there are some contradictions with what Dylan said for Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything. Like again, with the whole Japanese thing, like I said, things could have changed in the past couple of years. I don't know. But from what I understand is that, the world license all goes through the people that are doing it in New York. That are dubbing it in New York, which is still the same studio that did 4Kids. Company obviously sold everything off to 4K Media, and then ultimately Konami was 4K Media, but they ultimately changed it to Konami Cross Media or whatever it's called now. Recently, I heard a couple of years ago, because I know somebody who's from German. In Demian Art, a Demian Art artist that's a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, and she had indicated to me, because she can speak English and she can speak obviously German because that's where she lives. She had communicated to me that people in German, like the companies in German that do Yu-Gi-Oh! Over there, actually tried to get a Season 4 GX dub. And she basically told me that they called up, the Japanese company, the studio that was doing Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time, that are not doing it anymore, for Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. They called them up and basically indicated that, nope, you were going to have to call the people in America, the people in New York. Because they don't have a say in it, because the world license is controlled by the people in America, Konami in America, which, aka 4K Media, at the time, now Konami Cross Media. And so they called them up and they basically said, no, it's unavailable. So that was the end of German trying to pursue a German Season 4 English dub for Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. So that's something I heard from a Demian Art artist that had told me that story, that I had heard. So, to my understanding, is the people in America, Konami in America division, are the ones that call the shots, not the people in Japan, because they have the world license that they still have all the way back from when 4Kids made that agreement for the licensing deal back in 2000 or 1999, whatever it was, that they made the agreement to start dubbing it. It didn't come out until 2001, obviously, so maybe the license deal was in 2001. I don't remember exactly when the year was when they picked it up, but whenever that licensing deal happened, Back in those days, the practices for picking up English dubs are not the way they are today. The dubbing deals back then, you could get world license, you could basically have control of the English dub. There were a lot of different legalities for contracts. It's the same thing that Neon Genesis is going through right now. Neon Genesis, apparently, there's a rumor going around that the reason why they can't use the ADV dub is because ADV actually owns that dub. Because of the licensing contract that they signed. That's another video I could talk about too, because I don't want to get too much into that because that is a completely different topic. But point being is licensing deals for anime from the 90s, or late 90s, early 2000s are not the same licensing deals that are done today. They're not. And that was the same thing that happened with Yu-Gi-Oh! Here. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is under a world license agreement, and this is why Yu-Gi-Oh! Is basically done the way it is, and has been done with censorships, changes, name changes, which I don't have I like the name changes. I've gotten attached to them, so I don't have an issue with them. But obviously there's a lot of changes into the storylines for the most part that a lot of people have issues with. If Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 4 ever was dubbed, though, they will keep the names. They are going to keep the localized names because they have to keep consistency. That does not necessarily mean the storyline won't be more truthful to the Japanese, but they would have to kind of change that stuff to be consistent with the previous dubbed seasons. So there would be obviously changes regardless whether there's censorship or not. The dub would in fact be altered. It would be altered. They're not going to have a more truthful dub version. It would have to coincide with the actual previous dub, unless Konami gives up the license. And it goes to Funimation or Viz Media or something like that. The chances of that, changing would never happen, like a Sailor Moon type thing, where they would just go back and dub everything all over again and, do a more truthful translation. That isn't going to happen because Yu-Gi-Oh! Controls it. So it would have to go through Konami, and if Konami was to do a dub, it would have to be changed and altered to fit the previous seasons. But again, it's a tough call, and like I said, if Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything sees this video and clears some of that stuff up with me, that'd be kind of cool. I doubt he'll comment on this video because I'm just a regular dude. But that'd be kind of cool if he would to clear some stuff up, because again, some of the stuff that I know, there was some stuff that he said that just didn't coincide with my understanding of the information that I have. But again, nothing he really said, the majority of the stuff he said wasn't totally out of the water. I mean, with the fact of the matter is, it's been over 15 years now. The chances of a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX dub happening now is probably it gets more bleak and bleak each year passes by. Especially with COVID going on right now. It makes it even worse for the dubbing industry. The way it is right now. And honestly, when they started dubbing Duel Links, Season 4, parts of the Season 4 Duel Links, I thought that would be a good chance to dub it. Because it's like, how are you going to dub this stuff in Duel Links if you're not going to, actually have the dub that it goes by? You know what I'm saying? So that was the one thing where I was like, you know what? There's a really good chance now, because they're dubbing Duel Links. They're going out and doing Duel Links now. They got all the voice actors back that dubbed Yu-Gi-Oh! GX years ago. They got Alexis Rose's voice actor back for Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V. So why not? There's a good shot here. We got Duel Links getting dubbed with all these old voice actors that did the original, series for GX. Like, well, why wouldn't they dub it? So, I mean, that was where I was like, okay, now there's a possibility. If they start coming out with new GX like cards, maybe they would decide to do it again and revisit it. They clearly, as the one thing he did say, they do have the rights and they can do it. And I don't think they need necessarily approval from the Japanese Konami, but even if they would, if there is money to be made through the cards, then yeah, they would probably do it. If they have a movie come out of it, they'd probably do it, especially if it made a lot of money. But that's probably the best chances. But the one thing, again, and I'll stress because I talked about this at the beginning of this video, is the one thing that annoys me about Konami right now is that they're refusing for fans to basically do a fan dub, despite the fact that they are not going to do a dub themselves. There really should be a law for that. If you're not gonna, I know I'm strict when it comes to this stuff, but I really feel strongly about this. I've said this in multiple different videos. If you're gonna hold on to something and you're not gonna dub it, you should not be allowed to keep the rights to it. If you're literally going to hold it down, and there's other titles that are like this too. What was it that they were saying? There was that freaking, what's that title? What's that? No, not Voltron. There's a title that has been held on for years by Harmony Gold. And I don't remember what it's called. I cannot for the life of me remember it, and I know I'm gonna freaking get it after this video's over. But Harmony Gold has held on to a title for years and have done nothing with it. And they have 100% the rights to it, and that's bullshit. I really feel there should be a law that says if you don't dub this thing within 5 years, you lose the title. You know how with Spider-Man? With Spider-Man, Sony has to make a movie every within 7 years or whatever, and if they don't do it, they lose the rights to it. That's what should happen to Konami. If you don't dub this or you don't re-release stuff within a certain amount of period of time, you lose the rights to it. That's how it should be for every fucking title. Excuse my French. I really feel strongly about that. I don't like the fact that companies can just sit on shit and not do. They can sit on a license and not do anything about it, and not change the thing, And that's not just me being salty about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. This is about other things too. This is something that I really get pissed off with companies, not companies being allowed to sit on shit, and not have any accountability for losing their license. The reason why Sony has to continuously make Spider-Man movies or Spider-Man related movies is because they know if they don't do it within a 7-year time period, they lose the rights. So they have to continue making Spider-Man, Venom, whatever, whatever anything as long as it's in the Spider-Man catalog, they have to keep doing that or they lose the rights and it goes back to Disney, Marvel. I think that should apply to anime. I really do. I think if you don't do a dub, you should not be allowed to continue holding on to it. You should not be allowed to hold on to it. You should be then forced to do something or give it away to someone that will do it. And so, was it Voltord? No, it was God, I don't know what it's called now. But no, it's Harmony Gold. The Harmony Gold, the licensing company for it. They've held on to that shit for years, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was called. And I'll remember it after this is done. But someone in the comment section will point it out what it is, because I'm having a brain fart right now. But that's my whole point on this is if you're gonna hold on to a title and you do nothing with it for freaking 10 years or 5 years or whatever, you shouldn't be allowed to continue to hold on to something and then not sell it. They're not even making Blu-rays of the Yu-Gi-Oh! GI. They have done nothing with this product for years. Yu-Gi-Oh! Come on. Like, where is the Blu-rays? Where is this? Where is that? Why are you not putting shit out? You know it's a moneymaker, so why aren't you putting it out? Okay? You know, to me, it's just ridiculous at how these license holders can just hold on to shit, not do anything with it, and then piss off fan bases that want a dub. And then, you know, of course, Konami then openly being like, oh yeah, you can't do a fan dub either. You know, so you won't make a dub for the fans that actually will pay money to watch it and pay money for Blu-ray and DVD releases. But then you won't give people an option to make a fan dub about it. Screw that. That's BS. So that's my take on this. It's a little longer than I thought it would be. Comment, rate. If you like this video, my videos, please subscribe. Discord link in the description. I have my Patreon in the description as well. I'm out of here. I am the SS Ultimate Goku. I'm out of here. Peace! Get your game!